Rick, as we look ahead to this special voting referendum that Gavin Newsom decided to put on the ballot, where they would change the independent committee, which I know you have thoughts on that as well, but to a special redistricting just to try and combat Texas and other states that were redistricting, going outside the law of California to create something new and put it to a vote. We're just a few weeks away from that, but already it seems like there's always something a little sketchy going on with the ballots in California. This time we're seeing in certain places that if you vote no on the redistricting with your mail-in ballot, you can see that through a hole in the front of the envelope. What's your take on this, Rick, and what's going on in your beautiful home state?
Well, raise your hand if you're surprised that it's only if you vote no, if you vote against Obama, if you vote against Gavin Newsom, that somehow transparency reigns. I mean, it's laughable. We have a state that is totally a one-party ruled state. They rule with an iron fist. And what they're doing now is collecting tens of millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars to do a new election, which literally reads because of Texas. When you read the question of voting yes or no in California, it literally says we're doing this in response to Texas's partisanship. This is where we are. It's like California is responding to Texas, but really it's all because Gavin Newsom wants to run for president. So the counties are having to put forward a new special election, which it takes place here in a couple of weeks, asking the question, do you want to start over and redo our congressional seats because Texas is being so partisan, so we're going to be partisan? That's literally the question. I hope everyone who's listening to me understands that we can defeat this. You got to vote no. Get out and vote no. Take everyone you know and vote no. We need to send a strong message to Gavin Newsom right now that he doesn't get to play partisan politics just because he's losing.
Well,
we had a census. They did they created the congressional districts, and the next census is not until 2030. We don't need to waste this money just because they're losing. So we're losers.
What's so interesting to me, Rick, is that Gavin Newsom seemed so confident in this. He decided to go outside the regular norms. California does have a alleged independent redistricting process. I put alleged there because it's not like it's perfect, but this is completely different. This is taking it outside of the system that is by law in California and putting it to a vote to have this little intermittent change for his own benefit. But now you're seeing of all that confidence, spending all that money, getting this together so quickly that he's having to bring people in like Barack Obama to try and sell this here at the last minute. That doesn't seem like high confidence of getting the people of California on your side on this if you're having to go for probably the only Democrat Party superstar left to try and sell this to your people.
Look, there's no question that they're worried. The big overall question is whether or not they're overly worried, but they're clearly worried. And here's why. We have spent the last 5 years getting people who are on the sidelines to register to vote. Remember, 50% of your neighbors are not even registered to vote. Of everyone who is registered, only 40% roughly are voting. And so it's a very small crowd that the Democrats in California keep going to win these elections. They are panicked that we're adding new people to the voter rolls, while at the same time going county by county and demanding that they clean up their voter rolls. We have something on the next year's ballot, hopefully, we're gathering signatures now, that would put voter ID on the ballot in California. That is a total game changer for California. It immediately cleans up the votes of all the non-citizens in California, of which there are a lot voting. And so right now, Gavin is panicking because when you look at his reputation with the fires and the frustration that people have in California, combined with all of the stuff that we've done with voter registration and voter rolls, he's thinking that a special election could mean that he loses for the first time in California. And so they brought out the big guns last night during the Dodgers game, or as Will would say, the Brewers-Dodgers game. But I was sitting there watching the Dodgers game and watching Obama come on and Gavin Newsom come on so many times. And we have a law in California that you have to announce who's paying, the top 3 people paying for the ad. The California Teachers Association have been paying for all of these partisan ads. If you're a teacher or you know a teacher in California, you should be outraged that the teachers' money is going to redo the census just in California, just for congressional races. Look, it's an outrage. It's a waste of money.
And Rick, I hate to give more fuel to this and show people what Barack Obama had to say. As you said, they brought out the heavy hitters to really try to make this moment mean something. But it's so partisan, if you will, in the way that it's presented. It's not even trying to win people over on either side, saying, this is what's good for the state, here's why. It is so specifically targeted to or against Republicans. I think our audience does need to at least hear a few seconds of it. So here is a clip from Barack Obama talking about this.
California, the whole nation is counting on you. Democracy is on the ballot November 4th. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election and wield unchecked power for 2 more years. With Prop 50, you can stop Republicans in their tracks. Prop 50 puts our elections back on a level playing field, preserves independent redistricting over the long term.
Those quotes there, Rick. Republicans want to steal enough seats in Congress to rig the next election. You can do this. You can stop the Republicans. This is the rhetoric that is coming out of the government there in California, and of course from the former president of the United States, Barack Obama.
Well, look, I don't think they poll tested this very well, because I can tell you the whole phrase "democracy is on the ballot" is what Kamala said. Mm-hmm. And that's a losing issue, because they saw what they did to Republicans. We saw what the Biden team did when they were in charge of the Justice Department. And so what this commercial is, what you rightly pointed out, is Barack Obama and Gavin Newsom are only playing to the high propensity Democratic voters, of which there's enough in California. If they can rally their base to come out and Republicans stay home, they could win this. But we're doing a pretty good job in California right now of telling Republicans it's a one question on the ballot. It's so easy. And we mail ballots to every single person on the voter roll. So find your ballot in the mail, send it in, vote no, 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 no. Try to vote no as many times.
Rick, I want to point out one thing, other than the fact that this video that Barack Obama put out saying that Congress wants to rig the next election and steal seats would have gotten the Biden DOJ to force social media to get him kicked off and deplatformed, just using that language. But he says it preserves independent redistricting over the long term, which is such a bait and switch, saying you have to break the system now so that we can preserve it later. We have about 30 seconds, your quick thoughts on that little bait and switch rhetoric.
He literally, because he's losing, is saying you have to trust me to break the system now and go literally off the census schedule in order to get these Republicans in Texas. That's what he's saying. It's outrageous. It's manipulation. Vote no on Prop 50 in California. Find your ballot. Vote no.